Slovakia. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. See if everything is to wild. Let's see. You see. There it is. I can hear it. All right. So with that, I want to start off by saying, Call Haloyim, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach as well. Peace and shalom to the Akim out there and the elect, which the elect consists of the men, women, and children selected to make it out of here from the coming nuclear destruction. All right. I'm the brother Zayan Olive, the DC camp, coming at you with another video. And this video is inspired off of multiple things. Number one, the apostle Tahar's video that he recently put out, which you can see right here. A new Draconian law is coming to DC. The Bowser Pinto plan, which Mayor Muriel Bowser is indeed the mayor of DC, and they're coming out with this secure DC crime bill. They already have it out, and they're presenting it out so soon that it can go into effect. Okay, and they said they're doing this because of the stream of violent crimes and stuff that's happening in DC. And it's funny because even the brothers have been victim of a lot of the crimes that have been happening in DC. Some of the brothers, of course, I'm not going to mention their names, but a lot of the brothers in the camps have had their cars broken into, stolen, you name it. It's a bunch of little niggas riding around causing chaos. There's a whole lot of stuff happening in DC, but this is an opportunity for them to what? Order out of chaos, create order out of chaos. You see? And who's to say a lot of those things, they was probably set up. They could have been set up so that what? They can introduce this draconian law, as the Apostle Har put it. Okay? All right, so right here, the Apostle Har's video says a new draconian law is coming to DC, the Bowser Pinto plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to this word, draconian. All right? And Babak Washab, watch that video. It's only 6 minutes long. And he briefly talks about that secure DC bill that's coming to DC real soon. Okay? All right, I'm going to read this. Draconian. It says, Draconian, Draco, the ancient Greek statesman 1777 in reference to laws, rigorous, extremely severe, or harsh. Okay? That's what a draconian law is. Something that is rigorous, extremely severe, or harsh. Does that remind you of something? When we were in Egypt, we had rigorous draconian laws against us. This is the new Egypt all over again. That's all this is the new Egypt all over again. All right. And if you can read through the lines, okay, and see through the lines, you're about to see that they're setting the stage for what? More martial law type of environments. They got to get people ready for the more martial law type of system. You see? All right, get your mind set for more police and these different entities controlling and running the streets, telling you what to do, what not to do, more than what they could ever do before. Get prepared for these things. Okay, so a draconian law is what? A law that is rigorous, extremely severe, and harsh. Now I'm gonna get this this one right here, and let me go ahead and change the screen. Bear with me. Change the screen, and then we're going to play this video, right?
And during that time, officers can ask
to vote tomorrow about a sweeping set of bills to reduce crime. Among other things, the Secure DC Omnibus would pay for new technology, create new criminal offenses, and change police protocols.
Notice he said create new criminal offenses. New criminal offenses. You see?
It has a lot of vocal supporters and critics.
Now, see, again, as I was saying, these draconian laws, and I said earlier that a lot of this stuff could have been set up for them to usher in things like this. For example, the new draconian laws, the one of them that we're about to talk about is the whole loitering one. You see, now it all sounds good when you think about the stream of crimes that's happening in You think this new bill is coming to get these goddamn demons up off the street. You're like, hell yeah, man. Make them niggas suffer. Make them suffer. Get these violent thugs up off the street. It may sound good, but what about the other stuff that's being added to the law on top of that? You see that? What about the other things, the new offenses that's going to be added to the law, right? Let's go ahead and play the video.
Especially concerning one specific piece of this bill. Here's Abby Larico to verify.
We talk a lot here about the increase in crime in the district, and now our local leaders are charged with figuring out what to do about it. A civil rights group called Campaign Zero is rallying opposition to Secure DC. This claim has been shared more than 3,000 times that the plan will criminalize gatherings of 2 or more people. So is gathering in groups of 2 or more banned in the proposed DC crime bill? To verify, we turn to the bill itself. Councilmember Brooke Pinto, its sponsor, and the executive director of Campaign Zero. The bill this claim refers to is the Addressing Crime Trends Now Amendment Act of 2023. It allows the police chief to create drug-free zones in public places known for high rates of drug or violent crimes.
So I'm going to stop it there because I want to get this other article real quick to link up with this one, right? So I'm going to get this one right here. The Bowser Pinto plan, okay? All right, will not make DC safer. And they put why. Now, one of them is this one particularly right here, the gatherings of 2+ people criminalized. The people can now designate any neighborhood, the police can now designate any neighborhood as high risk, allowing them to arrest innocent people for gathering in groups of 2 or more. If police suspect they might commit a crime, they could be fined or imprisoned. Okay, now let's go to that other one. You see, let's go back to here. We're going to go to, before we play the rest of that video, we're going to go down right here to Campaign Zero as they were talking about, right? It says Campaign Zero, as they mentioned in the video, it says a national civil rights organization is rallying opposition to Secure DC on social media. It recently posted a series of claims regarding the plan, including that it would criminalize gatherings of 2 or more people. Now, keep this in mind in a spiritual eye. What are one of the gatherings that's out there in these different places, especially in DC? What are some of the gatherings? The Israelites, okay? Because not just GMS brothers out there. You have other camps out there that are also preaching the word. Of course, some of them are going off, but they're still out there preaching the word, so to speak. But nonetheless, you have GMS brothers out there week in and week out preaching the word in DC, right? That's a definite gathering of 2 or more people. That could be seen as, you know what, that might be criminal activity. All right. But you know what? Let me keep going because I'm jumping the gun on that in the spirit. And it says it would criminalize gatherings of 2 or more people. All right. The posts were shared more than 3,700 times on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, and viewed hundreds of thousands of times. Now, the question is, will the Secure DC Omnibus criminalize all gatherings of 2 or more people? This is how they play on words. And we're going to go ahead and read this. Answer, they're saying it's false. All right. So when we read articles like this, Salaki, I think I dropped the one article. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it back on my email real quick. Bear with me for Bakusha. All right. Come on right here. Let's see if I can pull it back up. All right. So let me close out my email right here. The one that we just looked at earlier, right? Now, when we read this right here, when it says gatherings of 2+ people criminalized, when it says right here, allowing them to arrest innocent people of gatherings of 2 or more. Now, on the website, WUSA 9, they said that's false. Okay? They said it's false. So why are people putting it up if it's false? let's look at that. Let's look at the play on words here. It says the omnibus does not criminalize gatherings, but it allows officers to arrest people who refuse to disperse under limited circumstances. All right. And now we're going to go back to the video. Okay. Matter of fact, let me read this and then I'm going to go back to the video. It says, among the provisions of the bill is one to create drug-free zones. Okay. Now the police will have the ability to create drug-free zones, but what gives them the go ahead to say, this area right here, we're going to designate that as a drug-free zone? How many drug-free zones can they have? Can they have an unlimited amount of drug-free zones? All right. What gives them the authority to say, you know what, I want this one to be a drug-free zone? You see that? This bill is going to give them the power to basically say, hey, I'm just going to designate this as a drug-free zone at will so far, right? It says the bill gives authority to the chief of police to create drug-free zones in public places known for high rates of drug crimes or violent crimes. You know, they said known for, but who's to establish that? Who's to say one zone's not a high rate and one zone's not a high rate for drugs and crimes? They can just come up and say, you know what, this zone is. We believe that this area is or has high rates of drug crimes and violent crimes. You see that? Because the common man, we don't have the statistics. You see? It says the drug-free zone must be marked, may only cover a square area with less than 1,000 feet on each side, and may be in effect for no more than 120 hours. So it can be in effect for 5 days. All right. But once the 5 days is up, who's to say they can't do it again? But check this out. It says, once a drug-free zone is established, police officers can ask groups of 2 or more people to leave the area if the officer reasonably believes they're committing a drug crime. The officer must base his or her decision on visual evidence, that's 1, information from reliable sources, that's 2, which we don't know who those reliable sources are. It could be anybody. Known gang affiliation of the people in question, 3. All right. They can say that the Israelites are a gang. It says, or known convictions of drug offenses. That's 4. All right. Anyone who refuses to leave the area after being told to by an officer can face up to 180 days in jail, a fine of $300 or both. You see that? All right. You see that? So this bill that's coming is bigger than what they're pushing it out to be just for violent crimes. This is bigger than that. All right. This is leading towards complete control. This is leading towards what? That martial law type of environment, as I said earlier. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and read this scripture. Okay. Got to get a scripture. That's what we do. This is 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And what is one of his devices? His devices is to get people in control. Okay. To get people under his control to lead up into what? That MOTB. Okay. That causing all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive of that mark. Trust me, believe you me, that during that time is going to be what? Draconian measures. Just like during the time of that DVOC. You know what I'm saying? If you switch the words backwards. That DVOC 19, I'll say. When that was running loose. And then they're forcing everybody to get that sticker, right? You can't get this, you can't go into this building unless you have this sticker. You can't go into this restaurant unless you have this sticker. Remember in Australia, they were saying people can't play sports, professional sports, unless they had that sticker. Okay? They had separate camps on the outside in Australia somewhere where they was putting people that quarantining people that didn't have that sticker. So please believe, all right, during the time of that MOTB, there will be what? Draconian measures all around. And they have to get the people used to these things. They have to condition you. All right. So you can't be ignorant of Satan's devices. As a matter of fact, let me go to another one. Let me go to bear with me, Babak Shah. Because the other one I'm gonna get is in the Apocrypha. This is Sirach 5:15. It says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. You have to constantly watch. You have to constantly, like they said in the military back in the day, is what? Keep your head on a swivel. Okay? Be circumspect. You can't be ignorant of these things. Okay? And pretty soon, these type of measures is going to lead up to what? The famine of the word. Okay? Because when they say certain people can't be out on the streets anymore, guess what? That's when wisdom starts to what? Fade out of the streets. Remember, when you go to Proverbs, the first chapter, it says, wisdom crieth in the streets. When they start to get certain individuals off the streets, i.e., the men of the Lord and the prophets, guess what? The word of the Lord is going to start to be very scarce, very famine-like. All right? And bills like this are not going to just be just for DC. They're going to spread. You see? They're going to spread. So I'm going to read this again. You can't be ignorant of these things. Be not ignorant, Sirach 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. Constantly keep your head on a swivel, constantly watching to see what this man is doing. And shalom to the Akim and Akwaf on the comment board, okay? You have to constantly watch what this man is doing, right? So let me go back to that video, though. Let me go back to, because a lot of the articles say the same thing, so I want to go back to the video. All right.
Drug-free zone can be designated for 5 days at a time, and during that time, officers can ask groups of 2 or more people to leave the area if the officer, quote, reasonably believes they're committing a drug crime. Anyone who doesn't leave after being told.
See, now it changes up. It's straight up. Now, if the officer reasonably believes that they're committing a drug crime, so if they reasonably believe that a particular group is committing a drug crime, they're going to ask you to leave. If you refuse to leave, they're going to lock you up. Straight up. So they come up to the Israelites where we preach and they designate that as a drug-free zone. Guess what? They can come up and say, you guys got to leave. You're not waiting for a bus. You don't live around the area, nothing. So you got to leave. If you keep preaching, we're going to lock you up. All right? You keep standing here, we're going to lock you up. And brothers are going to have to move to different spots. You see? Then they're going to chase brothers around. This is a drug-free zone. This is just a possibility. Again, the image is to push out that what? That draconian measure, push out that martial law image, get people conditioned. The cops telling you, you can do this and you can't do that. The cops being the law. The cops aren't the law, even though they think they are. But this is going to give more draconian measures in the hands of the cops, where they're going to go around thinking that they are the law. They will officially be the law at that time. Okay?
Told to could face 180 days in jail, a fine of $300, or both. A spokesperson for Councilmember Pinto's office tells us, quote, individuals seeking medical or drug treatment within the zone or who are not engaged in illegal activity, such as waiting for a bus or going to your home, would be exempt from the designation. The bill lists several scenarios when police could determine illegal activity is or may be taking place, and that's what sticks out to Campaign Zero's executive director.
Police can essentially detain people or stop people if they suspect them of future drug use, if they look like they're a lookout for the police, if they are concealing their identity. That could be as simple as putting a hood on. We think that is a violation of people's civil rights.
So we can verify, no, the bill doesn't explicitly criminalize gatherings of 2 or more people, but it does give officers authority to disperse certain people from public places that police identify as hotspots for crime. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
So that's basically a play on words and a play on the rules. No, we don't just arrest people in gatherings, 2 or more gatherings, but We can arrest people in 2 or more gatherings if we suspect them of a crime, if we think that they're doing this or doing that. It's a play on words, semantics. All right. Again, the image is to get you into that mindset of having what? That authority over you, telling you you can do this, you can't do that. Okay. Getting you into that more martial law type of mindset. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 15. Matter of fact, verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's what's on its way too. You know, different race war, civil war, that's on its way as well. It says, for there shall be a sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay? You're going to have people that's going to rise up and be fed up with what's going on. Okay, people, it's going to be limited resources out here. People going to fight and not care about what the cops think. All right. It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. What would make a man not be able to go into a city? Right now, you can go to any city that you want to right now. What would stop a man from going into a city? It would have to be what? Martial law set up. All right. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right. But just getting you to the mindset of mainly verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because martial law, draconian measures will be set up. All right. And this right here, the Secure DC bill, is this forthcoming of that. All right. And that's all I wanted the lesson to be on. Just, keep your eyes out. Be not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. And this law is not just going to affect DC. Eventually, you're going to see different laws like this popping up in other states around America. All right. So with that, call Haloyim Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, peace and shalom to the elect. As always, a double shalom.